if you have a lot of brand loyalty, it doesn't matter how anything works. People are going to like buy from you. They're just going to research, like, do I need the 64 ounce cooler? That's where people are going to be doing the research, what to buy from you, not if they should buy from you.
Welcome back to the My Wife Quit Her Job podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about agentic commerce. And specifically, something just happened pretty recently where Amazon decided to block all AI. And then there was this court case between Amazon and Perplexity where Perplexity lost. And Perplexity has to delete all of the e-commerce and product listings from their entire database. And I'm pretty sure Perplexity is just like the first AI company that they'll have to do this with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go to court against Amazon, honestly.
Well, no.
For now.
I was thinking about this because it was a topic amongst some of my colleagues where you would think that it's in Amazon's best interests to let AI, index their products so that they get more sales, right?
Right.
But that's not the case because Amazon's main business now is not e-commerce. I mean, they haven't been growing for like they've been growing, but they've been slowing down for the last several quarters now.
Mm-hmm.
And their cash cow now is advertising.
Mm.
But if you're like a seller on Amazon, you just want more sales. You don't care whether they come from Amazon or an agent recommending something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So my question is there not a way for Amazon to work out a deal, Perplexity or any other service, to where they can make money this way as well?
I mean, they'd have to work out something. I don't know. The way it works now is people do research on Perplexity or ChatGPT, and then they just go to Amazon anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then recently, I think we talked about this last week, OpenAI dropped their strategy to allow checkout directly on AI. So I don't know. It just this makes me like dislike Amazon a lot. I already kind of dislike
Amazon.
I kind of already dislike them, but this makes it worse because this is like a pretty blatant way for them to just control the seller.
Yeah.
Like at least in the past, they could say, "Oh yeah, we were doing this for the sake of sellers," right?
Yeah.
Like some of their things, like when they raise prices, they go, "Oh, we're just using it to provide better service."
Right.
On FBA.
Better technology.
This time, it's like does not help the seller at all.
Yeah.
This is just like a blatant thing.
Well, because I don't use Perplexity, but I use ChatGPT a lot, as we've talked about a million times. And sometimes what I will is if I'm researching something, right? I want to buy an inflatable air mattress, let's just say. I'm thinking about this because our friend Liz has like the best air mattress ever. And I was like, if I have to buy an air mattress, I want to buy this one because it doesn't deflate while you sleep on it. But I'm probably going to go to Chat and like talk through some things. And then sometimes Chat will give you a link, right, to something. Sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. But Amazon can't block that. Or can it?
Well, no, that's the point. Like
it'll give you like that little bubble. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the sentence. Like sometimes I'll say like, "Hey, I want to take a train from, Spain to Portugal. Where can I find this?" And they'll give me like a little link to like a couple different train services, right? So is that getting blocked?
From what I understand, all information that was scraped on the Amazon website is not going to show up anymore. I could be wrong. You know what's funny is like I use ChatGPT practically every day.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a single Amazon product mentioned.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I have either because I don't typically research to buy directly on Amazon. I'm more looking at just like, and then I'll same thing you said, I'll go type it in. But I do know that I get links from ChatGPT all the time to products, websites, all that stuff.
Right.
So
yeah.
that will go, if you were getting that goes away on Perplexity.
Because I do these searches all the time just to check where I'm at in there.
Yeah.
And I do e-commerce searches from time to time. But yeah, I see Walmart all the time. But I don't think I've seen an Amazon link in like months. So Yeah, I think they're out of the database for LLMs.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so here's why this matters. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, Tony, but I'm just guessing that you haven't been playing around with OpenClaw at all.
No, but I'm about to. I just actually so I had dinner with a friend this weekend, and he was going on and on and on about how he's using Claude Cowork, and how it's like the greatest thing, and he's in like hospital administration, like not something that we do. So I started playing around with that last night, and then I was like, I need to start like broadening my AI horizon. So that's next on my list to get into. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll probably start looking at it this weekend.
So the reason why I bring it up is because one of my friends here, in case you guys are listening to this, you have no idea what OpenClaw is. It's basically like an agent that's like your virtual AI assistant.
Yeah.
And you can tell it to do anything, and it will go and figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of my friends, like he uses it to put together shopping lists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to build a computer, find me the best components, and then his agent will go off and find those components.
Yeah.
Using AI or Claude. He has it hooked up to Claude.
Yeah.
The point here is that now that it's been blocked by Amazon,
mm-hmm.
that in theory means that no Amazon products will show up, right?
Right.
And presumably this might be like how a lot of people shop maybe in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, so my first question is, it's interesting because you and I have talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but I hear people talking about it on like social media and stuff like that. And it feels like there's two buckets of people just in general using this. And it's the people who are like your friends, right, who are using it and loving it. I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, yeah, I just say like, I have these 4 ingredients and I need recipes in a shopping list, like stuff like that, right? They're using it to help them in their everyday, activities. But then I'm seeing on social media people like travel agents, which of course this makes sense, who are like, this is horrible. You'll get booked in the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You'll pay too much. And part of me is like, well, yeah, but you have a vested interest in this being bad, right? Because if you can convince people that if they use this, and a travel agent's free too, right? They're getting
they're not free, right?
They're getting a commission from the other side. You're not paying them.
Well,
right,
no,
to
but
do
you
anything.
technically are, because the prices are more expensive because they have to pay the agent, right?
Not really. Because like if you book through Expedia or you book through a travel agent, either Expedia's taking the commission or the travel agent's taking the commission. You know what I mean?
You're saying it's just all built in.
It's all built in, right?
Okay.
Because I've done like, I love to travel. So I've done a lot of like tests on if I book directly through the hotel or airline, right, versus Expedia versus Kayak versus, I do have a travel agent that I've used in the past. She actually usually gets me the best deal. So, because she probably has access to sales that I don't know about, right? But they're all saying, oh, if you do this is the one, and I apparently am friends with a lot of travel agents because they seem to be the loudest on Facebook right now, that it's going to, completely screw you over. You're not going to get to your destination. You're going to, this and that and the other. So, I wonder, I don't necessarily think that's true, but I'm just curious as to who's going to win that. I think the travel agent loses in the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. All that's going to get disrupted. I don't like to sound doom and gloom, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out completely, right? Because if you just think about, okay, now Amazon can't be shown, right? So you're using, you're using whatever tool to help you build a computer, right? And now it can't show Amazon products. So it's having to pull from other websites, right? Might not be as good of a deal as Amazon. Might be a better deal. Might not be 2 days shipping.
Probably a better deal, actually.
Well, yes. I mean, true. But, it's like that. Does that lessen the ability of these agents, right? Because it really isn't. I mean, Amazon is a huge marketplace, and I'm sure there are some things that are better deals. And does it mean that Walmart now, if they take the opposite stance?
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because I mean, Walmart's like, I do Walmart groceries and they are coming so hard for Amazon on subscribe and save. Like every time I put paper towels in my cart, they're like, would you like to subscribe and save this? Anytime I put a non-perishable in my cart, would you want to subscribe and save? And then it's also like, and they don't even, it's not even 2-day shipping at Walmart. It'll show up that day, almost everything, right? Because they're just bringing it from the store. So, yeah. I mean, does that mean that Walmart might have an advantage?
I mean, it's a risk. Yeah. Have you used Rufus at all on Amazon?
No. Oh, yes. Not enough to make, other than I don't think it's great.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this other, because that's what they're banking on, right?
Right.
People who want to shop will go and use Rufus to figure it out. And I played around with it. It's like kind of hidden, right? It's not like the default, especially now. I think you have to click this little tiny button.
Yes, it's not noticeable. I think it's actually more noticeable on mobile, which makes sense. But
so this is a huge risk on Amazon's part, because if people are shopping on the LLMs and not Rufus, I mean, you got to wonder why Rufus isn't more widely exposed. I did see an article maybe a month ago saying like Rufus was growing in leaps and bounds, and
was it a press release?
I don't know. Maybe someone more familiar with Rufus I should get to come on and talk about it. But
yeah,
I'm probably not going to use Rufus, mainly because I feel like all the reviews on Amazon are skewed anyway.
So I wouldn't use Rufus. So here's the other thing. You and I are like so heavily biased against Amazon.
That's true.
Right? Because we sell on Amazon, or I've sold on Amazon, you sell on Amazon. And we talk to Amazon sellers all day, every day. Right? And we know that Amazon does a lot of shady stuff. And so to me, why would I use Rufus when in my mind, what Amazon is going to do is either put their own products, right, where the margins are the best, or they're going to put someone that's like paid to be recommended, right? I just feel like I don't trust Amazon to give me any. I prefer to trust people on TikTok that are telling me to go on Amazon and buy something. You know what I mean? Like that's the point that I've gotten to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're an e-commerce store owner listening to this, you need to be optimizing both your website and your Amazon listings for AI now.
Yeah.
Especially on your website. And what does that mean, basically? It means tapping into the emotions of your customer, right? Like back in the day, it was all about keywords and whatnot, so you could rank in Google. But that's changing now. You have to figure out what the true intent, what the customer is thinking when they're shopping, and just make sure that is all in your product description on your website and read in by the AIs in order to show up.
Yeah, in my mind, this circles back to your product solves a problem. So your copy needs to be the problem-solving copy, right? Like they don't actually want an apple peeler, right? They want a fresh apple pie at Thanksgiving that their grandmother used to make. You know, that's what you're selling, right? You're not just selling the apple peeler. And that's what this feels like. It's kind of coming all the way back around to it feels like how we used to do things in, I don't know, 2009, 2008, a long time ago.
Hey, just a quick heads up. Tickets for my annual e-commerce conference, the Seller Summit, are now on sale over at sellersummit.com. If you run an e-commerce business selling physical products, this event was built for you. Unlike typical events filled with broad advice and feel-good stories, the Seller Summit is all about real strategies you can actually use. Every speaker I invite is deep in the trenches, running their own store and dealing with the same challenges you face every single day. Now, we keep the event intentionally small, just 200 people, so it stays intimate, and you actually get time to connect, ask questions, and have meaningful conversations. I've sold out every single year for the past 9 years. And if your store is already doing over $250K or $1 million in revenue, we also run a private mastermind with other top sellers in the space. You can learn more and grab your ticket over at sellersummit.com. Now back to the show. Here's the perfect example, because I was trying to do this little case study on t-shirts, and I noticed there was this Amazon listing that said, this shirt fits no matter how tall you are, whether you're like 6'5" or whatnot. And I thought that was odd when I saw that. And they said something about being really stretchy and comfortable for tall people. And that's when I realized that their point of differentiation probably is people who are just tall and lanky, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they put that in the description. What?
I thought you were saying that's when I realized I couldn't buy it.
Yeah. No, my search for t-shirts is I want to look more in shape than I really am and hide the Buddha belly.
That's the so that's the t-shirt brand. Oh my gosh, they're huge on Amazon. I'm completely blank. I buy them all the time.
You're talking about True Classic?
Yes.
Yeah.
The True Classic. I mean, that's that's what they've built their branding on.
Right? I own several of them, and they're $30 a piece.
And they are amazing t-shirts. I mean, like, shout out to them for actually creating an awesome product that does what it says, and they last. I have some for Brian that are probably like 2 years old, and they still look brand new. So shout out to True Classics. But they do the same thing in their marketing, right? And they do the whole show, the person wearing like a regular t-shirt next to the person in the True Classic, and they're capitalizing on, you know, the non-sloppy look, right? Like that's what they're going after.
And there was another line in this listing also that said something along the lines of you don't get depressed looking at the mirror. It wasn't that exact line, but it was something phrased like that, right? Like it makes me feel better whenever I look in the mirror in the morning. Mm-hmm. And it was a slightly rephrased line. And then I realized that these guys were just pulling stuff from their reviews and putting them in like their description.
So that's so interesting because I think I told you that I'm working with this ads company now who basically uses reviews to help write all the copy.
Yeah.
Right. And they have an AI tool that I think it's their proprietary thing, but I'm sure you could code this up in an afternoon.
Actually, no, because scraping Amazon reviews is like Amazon's actively preventing that from happening.
Yes, sorry. This person is D2C, so they don't have an Amazon store.
Okay.
So it's scraping reviews on their website and basically using all of that copy in everything that we do now. So it's really interesting to see how it's even the shift. I mean, we've always, you know, I think back when I met you, right? Like the whole thing was like, before you research when you're researching your product, read Amazon reviews. But so it's always been something that I've been ingrained to do is like look through reviews and use that to make decisions. And so it's always been in copy, but not to the level where now we're scraping every single review on the website and doing the same thing. Like when you look in the mirror, you know, same kind of thing. This, you know, changed our mornings, whatever the product might be. It's basically all consumer generated.
You know, we're not at this point yet, obviously, in shopping. Like it's still mostly humans doing the shopping. But I'm just thinking like maybe 2 years out where maybe you want like an agent or whatever to take care of your shopping list. Mm-hmm. Like maybe not make the final purchase, but just put together the shopping list. And I realized that back in the day, like when we shop, we just look at the image and we go, okay, we want that. It's kind of like an impulse buy. And we as humans just kind of fill in the blanks. We just kind of buy whatever we want.
Yeah.
But when an AI is putting together the shopping list, like they don't shop like humans. They need like all the information.
Yes.
In order to make that decision.
Yeah.
And so right now, and I was just looking around actually at some of the sites of my colleagues, some of the sites of my students, and it's really just like they do a really good job on the images.
Yeah. Right.
And they have a whole bunch of extra images. But in terms of the copy, well, we can use the t-shirt example. It might say, you know, 60-40 cotton blend or whatever, cotton polyester blend. And they might have like the measurements and whatnot. But that's it for the description.
Yeah.
Right. And going forward, assuming, you know, we have AI put together shopping lists and whatnot, they're going to be invisible unless they change that.
Okay. So this gets me to another thought about all of this. You were talking about how agents doing your shopping, which I think makes a ton of sense for commodities, groceries, household items, things like that. But how does that work for items that people buy because they make them feel good?
So I was thinking it's not just commodities, right? Like, for example, I went to Claude the other day and I said, hey, do the research. I need a new router. Find me the best router
Yeah.
that I can buy that's the best bang for the buck. And it went out and just did a whole bunch of research, and it came
Yeah.
back with one.
Yeah. But it
I
wasn't
get,
on Amazon.
yeah, it wasn't on Amazon, but I was just looking for like, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess that's not like a
I guess it's not
commodity.
a
Well, maybe it is
commodity.
a commodity.
It,
Maybe it
it
is.
that
I don't know.
I don't know, but like I feel like that there's going to be this huge line, right, between things like a router, things like a ceiling fan, obviously things like groceries, staple goods, and then there's going to be this whole other bucket of things, right, that I don't necessarily think that can be bought for you, right? Because
Okay, let's just take clothing.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So right now, my wife is using this service, and I forget what the service is called, but you take a picture of yourself and you describe like your style and whatnot.
yeah,
And then AI goes out and puts together these outfits.
yeah.
And I think the value prop of this specific one is it'll pick you 10 pieces that you can mix and match, and it makes it
Yes,
look like
I've
you have
seen
this
that.
whole
Yes.
right. So she's doing that right now.
Ooh,
And
I want to know all
technically
about
that's not a commodity,
No.
right? And it's going out and grabbing a whole bunch of different outfits. She ultimately gets to choose, but it's AI that finds the stuff. And if AI can't find a particular article, it's not going to be part of the collection.
Correct. Yeah. So I think that we're going to see a increase in those sorts of things, right? That's going to get a lot bigger. It's kind of like Stitch Fix on steroids, right? Because with Stitch Fix, I can't say it, Stitch Fix. I think I tried it like 10 years ago. I got some stuff, but I felt like because, you had like a consultant or a fashion person, like they just didn't always like get it. It depended on like some people I knew like had great results and other people I know didn't. And I think that was really dependent on the quality of the person, right? Well, AI removes that, right? The quality is based on you and the input you're giving to AI, right? So the problem is you if you're not getting what you want, if you're doing everything correctly.
Actually, what it asks you for also is like just pictures of what you wear,
Yes.
right? So you just submit a bunch of pictures, and it kind of gets an idea of what your style is.
Yeah.
I forgot your original point. You were saying like people.
So I think we're going to see a huge increase in services like this, right? We're going to see companies that are AI based that are doing, the same thing with like, remember when all the bloggers, built all these like recipe apps and like, recipe, you put your recipe in and it gets your ingredients in your shopping list. And like, now that's all just you don't need to use an app. You can just literally open up ChatGPT, take a picture of your pantry, right? So all those things are going to be, that's going to be just, I don't think that's going to get better and better. And I think that it's actually a really good use case. What I think won't change is like, and it's changing in like, think about the sites that allow you to try on like glasses, right? Mm-hmm. On like you take a picture of your face and it puts all the glasses on you.
Yeah.
And, so like that stuff's just going to get better and better. Cause I remember when that first came out and you like put a pair of glasses on, you're like, this doesn't look good. Like, cause it's just bad quality. Like it just wasn't good quality. Right. But what I don't think is going to change is like the luxury side. Right. So, and I'm thinking if you sell or thinking about getting into like the higher end products, right? Because I don't know if we always joke we have totally different TikTok algorithms, but I follow the Batty in a Benz guy who sells Mercedes. He's in Georgia. And his TikToks are just phenomenal, right? He's a car salesman, but he has like perfected this like, people are like going to Georgia to buy a Mercedes from this guy when they could buy a Mercedes down the road in their town, right? Because he's so fantastic. But there's something I think about Hermes, right? Like the handbags. Yeah. Like there's something about getting the appointment, going to the store, getting the glass of Prosecco, right? And so I think some items, especially those higher end, AI is not gonna, people want someone to like cater to them and pamper them and do that kind of stuff. And they want that experience, kind of like walking into the Apple store, right? Yeah. Where there's a guy in a blue shirt that runs up to you with an iPad and he's like, let me help you with every single problem you've ever had in your life. You don't know this because you're an Android user. But like when you walk into an Apple store, you feel like they could fix your car if you needed to, right? Because they're just, all over you for that kind of stuff. So I think there's going to be this like big line where There's a lot of things where AI is going to be able to do like almost all the heavy lifting. And then there's going to be this other like luxury side of things where people want the engagement. They want the interaction. That's why like luxury travel if you're a luxury travel agent, you're fine. Because people want to be able to get on the phone with you when they're stuck in the airport this week, right? We had like 1 million flight cancellations. Like they want to be able to call Betty and be like, Betty, get me on a plane to whatever. And Betty's like, I got you, and gets the private jet or whatever, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this all like divides, because I think it's going to be two very different shopping experiences for people.
Yeah, I mean, in-person shopping isn't going away, but I'm just seeing more and more of AI covering. I mean, what percentage is the luxury goods market? I don't know what that is, but
it's low. But if I was going to get into a business, it would be the luxury goods market at this point, right?
Actually, I saw a stat the other day where retail in-store sales have gone up year to year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because people are just tired and they crave like real life. I don't know.
They want to fight for a card at Ross. What are you talking about?
Well, the other part of that is I also saw this other statistic, and I don't want to butcher it because I can't remember if it was the top 1% or the top 10%. But what I remember, I think, was the top 1% are responsible for 50% of like the retail sales or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And so I guess you're fighting for all like the rich people.
Yeah. Well, I saw a TikTok the other day from this guy, and it was just like I don't know who he was, but it was basically like, don't sell to poor people. Like basically they're the worst customers, and I'm sure I'm going to offend everybody. And I'm quoting him. Basically, they're the worst customers. They're always dissatisfied. They want to nickel and dime you. And he was like, create a brand where you sell to wealthy people and use the money that you make to invest in lower income communities, right? So, so it wasn't a negative on people of lower income. It was just like, and I get that, like back when we were like struggling, I wasn't necessarily a picky shopper, but man, I was like, I will examine this jar of beans all day long to figure out if I should pay 68 cents or 62 cents, for black beans in a can, because it was an impactful purchase to me.
Right.
So I do think there is something to be said about that. And, if you're in the beginning stages of building a business, I also think this matters a lot with brand building, right?
I agree.
Because I don't need to research a cooler. I'm buying a Yeti, right? Because I'm a Yeti loyalist. If I'm going to buy a cup, I'm buying a Stanley, right? Or like my sister got me hooked on the Odwalla, like water straw bottles, right? So it's like that the brand loyalty is crazy. And I think that's one way to help your business in spite of everything that goes on, right? Like if you have a lot of brand loyalty, it doesn't matter how anything works. People are going to like buy from you. They're just going to research, like, do I need the 64 ounce cooler or the, whatever, that's probably too small, but that's where people are going to be doing the research, what to buy from you, not if they should buy from you.
Okay. So this is the part that's been keeping me up at night.
Uh-oh.
Like if AI is doing all those searches, or the bulk of them, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
Because why bother going through all that? I mean, some people like the research and whatnot, but like for me, I just want to know what to buy, right?
Yeah.
Well, if AI is making those decisions, then like the AI doesn't care about your story.
No.
They don't care about any of this stuff. And if it's making a decision, like all the work that you do for branding on your site and whatnot, like, does that even matter as much anymore if AI is making the decisions? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, so how is AI making the decision?
Off of the copy.
Right. No, but like, so if you wanted to buy something and I wanted to buy the same thing, right? You and I both wanted to buy a router. You're really,
trying to speak my language. I love it.
Yes, okay. This is router. Actually a fan. I just have come up with the best example probably ever that I've ever come up with on the podcast. So you want to buy a router, I want to buy a router. We both go into whatever tool we're using to buy this router. What you want in a router and what I want in a router is very different. I want a router that literally involves one action of plugging in. It immediately is set up. There's nothing that I have to do.
Right.
I don't have to get on the phone with anybody. And you want a router that probably has very different features than what I want, right? Like you probably care about other things that I don't even know exist. So are we assuming, and I guess we are, that AI knows that about me and knows that about you? And so when they go out to do the search and find the information, they are armed with that, right? Because the best router for you is not the best router for me.
Right. But again, that's all going to be determined from the copy on the page, not some emotional. A router is probably not a good example for emotional purchases anyways.
But it is, because I don't want to cry installing a router. That's
I mean, presumably, like, you'll give the AI the parameters, like, this is what I want, and it'll go out and find it, right?
Yeah.
The point is once it finds it, like, you're not attached to that brand because who cares, right? The AI is making the decision. Like, all the little storytelling and all that stuff on the site doesn't matter.
But because here's what I'm thinking. I feel like the brand storytelling doesn't matter as much, right? Like why you started the company, who cares? But does the storytelling in the copy, right, of, I was tired of buying routers that required a chemical or electrical engineering degree to install.
Correct. Right. That would work.
That's
correct.
Where the story still matters, right? Because whereas, your story would be like, tired of your neighbor stealing your internet or, whatever. I don't know. I feel like the story matters. It just matters differently now.
No, I agree. I mean, basically everything needs to be AI readable, and you need to spill out everything basically.
Yeah.
Right. In order for things for AI to make it a consideration.
Yeah.
But there's also something to be said, like once you actually finally get that router choice and you buy it, like I get attached to stuff when I do the research myself. Like when I read about the brand and I fall in love with the founder sometimes,
Yeah. There's actually a psychological word for that that's completely escaping my mind. But yeah. Okay. So you fall in love with stuff and the company.
And I'll buy it based on that. And I feel like that might be going away. And I know a lot of people shop from Bumblebee Linens because like Jen is very personable.
Yes,
like she handles customer service on occasion. And when she does, it's
customer
people buy because they like her and they know she's going to follow through and make sure things are going to get delivered. Right.
Yeah.
AI doesn't care about any of that stuff. Right. I'm just thinking like maybe in the future, there's going to be a break between, it's going to be harder to build a brand, I guess is my point.
Yes, I think so. But also this was when we first talked before we started recording that we were going to talk about this. My first thought was, but if everybody is using AI to write their listings, like that's immediately I don't know. I'm in like my Facebook feed is just all e-commerce ads right now of like programs and conferences and all this stuff. So to me, it's like, well, can't AI just figure this all out on its own? Like if AI is writing the listing and AI is finding the buyers or finding the products, like, I mean, seriously, it feels like this weird circle, right? This circular logic that, So does that mean
that's the state of content today, right?
Right. So you should have AI writing your listings or you shouldn't, right? Does that make a difference?
I mean, we can talk about what to do now. By the way, there's a couple people covering this topic at Seller Summit, like the type of content you should write and then how ranking in AI search works.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in that, pick up your ticket to Seller Summit, which is in April. But what I would do right now is, we kind of talked about these examples on the pod already. Go through all of your reviews.
Yeah.
And figure out all of the like emotional language that people were using, like that T-shirt example, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're tall and lanky, put that in the description, or that example about feeling better about after looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably something I pulled from True Classic Tees. I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Because that's the type of questions. Like when I do a search now in AI, I don't just type in wedding handkerchiefs.
Right.
I say something like, I want a lasting keepsake for my wedding that my daughter will cherish and maybe pass down to her daughter or son or whatever. Right.
Right.
And that type of verbiage in a traditional old school e-commerce site where you just list this handkerchief is 11 inches square,
Right.
embroidery, whatever.
This is the fabric.
Just not going to cut it.
This is
right?
the color. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I hadn't thought this specifically about this, but we're going through like a big site redesign and we're changing our listings, and they're actually going to be a lot more like this. So I guess I was knowing it without knowing it.
Yeah, like with the curriculums or whatever, like I'm sure there's a lot of mental stuff. Like it's a very emotional purchase, actually,
yes.
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And right now we really only are like, this is 32 lessons. This is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we need more.
Right.
You know, this isn't going to get people to, especially I feel like anything that comes to like with kids, right? Like raising your kids or impacting your kids, people get very emotional with the, not necessarily like sad or happy, but like they're very emotionally invested in what a product can do for their kids.
Yeah. So if we were just kind of circle back to the original Amazon story, Amazon is forcing us to do this twice now on our own website and Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I guess in theory, Amazon's not picking up any of Amazon's stuff. I mean, they've already blocked the AI LLMs already. They did that long ago.
Yeah.
This court case that they won with Perplexity, I'm sure is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure they're going to force all the other LLMs to remove all of Amazon's data. And so we'll have two silos, I guess, right?
Yeah.
One's your website and one's Amazon, and Amazon's betting that people will use Rufus. It remains to be seen what's going to happen there.